All right, you know what time it is. Live from the Bare Muscle Garage, it is season premiere week of Fit Crew. We have a store for you today. Let's go ahead and share this on screen. So for today's workout, we've got a quick descending ladder for you here. We're going to be doing 5 rounds descending reps of chest to bar pull-ups, box jump overs, and dumbbell power snatches. And we may be looking at this thinking pull-ups are kind of hard, jumping kind of scares me. Don't worry, guys. As always, we're going to warm up really well, and we're going to go through all the options that will allow you to do this workout or your version of it, right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. But let's go ahead and start this general warm-up. Here we go. Let's get some arm circles going back. Arm circles back. And as you know, my name is Coach Chris. I am a level 3 CrossFit trainer, which means I've logged thousands of hours over many years, helping many people just like you live their best life through health and fitness. Let's move on to arms across the chest. Hug yourself, love yourself. And let's get to know our Fit Crew a little bit better. How long have you been doing this program, and how has it helped you? Let's move on to the wrist wave while we hear from Reb. Go ahead, Reb, say your name, where you're from. How long have you been doing this program, and how has it helped you?
Hey, I'm Reb in Chicago. I've done this for over 4 years, and it's helped me by finally giving me a program to stick to. And that's because it's so varied, so I'm never bored, and it's so effective.
Awesome. Yes, we definitely try to keep it fresh and exciting, and so glad that you stuck with us and seeing those results. So thank you so much, Reb. Let's go ahead and move on to some high knees into chest, or if it works better, we can do some high elbows like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Twin One. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from. How long have you been doing this program, and how has it helped you?
I'm Denise in New York. I've been doing this program for 4 years now, and it's helped me all around with a lot of things, but emotionally is one of the ways that it's helped me. Women are super emotional. Let me tell you, this gets all that out and you feel better after.
Thank you for that insight. Explains a whole lot. No, but for real, that is definitely a very important benefit, and so glad that you're feeling that in your life. So thank you so much, Twin One. Let's go ahead and move on to some calf raises. Up on the toe, back on the heel, up on the toe, back on the heel. Or if it works better, we can do some wrist extensions like this. While we're doing this, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from, how long have you been doing this, and how has it helped you?
Hi, my name is Renegade. I'm from Georgia. I started this program in April of 2020, and since then, this program has helped me get back on track with my health. Helped me to be able to be stronger, to do things that I thought was impossible to do. So this program is awesome.
And you have shown us that impossible means nothing, that you are willing to do whatever is necessary to get you up and about and doing the things you got to do. So thank you so much, Mighty Mouse. Let's go ahead and move on to some jumping jacks, or we could do some stepping jacks if we want low impact. And so awesome job, guys, following this program, getting results. Please continue logging in. Keep doing these workouts. Keep inviting others to join you. And please consider getting on track. And we have a number of different on-track memberships that will give you access to the full program. Full week of workouts, more results, more accountability. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, please click that link or feel free to message me directly for details. Let's go ahead and take a break from this warm-up, guys, and we're going to move on to the activation phase, which is where we're going to do a couple of different moves that are going to help us to get specifically ready for today's workout. So the first move we're doing is Superman's, and let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 Superman's for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then the Superman to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 Supermans together. Couple things to keep in mind. We are laying face down on the ground. We've got the arms out in front of us, legs back, and we are raising those arms and those legs, holding the top for about 2 seconds before going back down, dialing in that arched position, activating the posterior. And so good job here on these Supermans. Next, we're going to do some plank rows, and let's go ahead and have Reb demonstrate 2 plank rows on each arm for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then those plank rows are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 plank rows together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're in a nice plank position, shifting the weight, rowing that fist into the chest, keeping the chest and the hips square with the ground. Now, it could be that doing this off the ground is a bit of a challenge for us, in which case we could do this off of an inclined surface. And let's have Reb demonstrate a couple reps here. This could be off of a bench, it could be off a counter, it could be off a chair, or even off the wall. But we're in an inclined plank position, rowing that fist into that chest. So good job here on these plank rows. Next, we're going to do some reverse plank ups, and let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 reverse plank ups for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the reverse plank ups are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reverse plank ups together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We've got those legs out in front of us, hands to the side, and we are squeezing those glutes, getting the hips nice and high, and we want to get all the way up. Hold the top for about 2 seconds, then come back down. Now, it could be that this is a bit hard on the wrist, in which case we could choose to do bridge instead. Let's have Twin One demonstrate 2 glute bridges for us. We're laying on the back, pulling the feet in close, squeezing those glutes, getting the hips nice and high. But good job here on these reverse plank ups or glute bridges. Next, we're going to do some good mornings. Let's go ahead and have Reb demonstrate 2 good mornings for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then the good mornings are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and do 10 reps of the good mornings together. A couple things to keep in mind. We are folding the arms across the chest, initiating by sending those hips back, getting that chest to just about parallel, and then we're going to squeeze the glutes until we get all the way back up to a fully locked out position. And we can have a slight bend in the knee there to activate the glutes and the hamstrings. And so good job here on these good mornings. Next, what I'd like everyone to do is let's go ahead and grab a light dumbbell if you have one. By light, I mean 10 pounds or less, 5 kilos or less. If we don't have a light dumbbell, then any other common household item will do. It could be a shoe, a pillow, a teddy bear, a water bottle, something along these lines, but it's got to be super light. So with this light object in hand, we're going to do some single arm deadlifts with that dumbbell on the ground between the feet at the start. And let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 reps of the single arm deadlift. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then those deadlifts are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in. Arm deadlifts, 5 on each side. So a couple things to keep in mind. That dumbbell is going to start on the ground in between the feet. And at the start of the deadlift, we're going to have those hips super low, chest up, shoulders back, and we are looking straight ahead. And we're going to get all the way up to a fully standing position with those shoulders back at the top. And then, of course, we're going to brace that core on the way up and on the way down as well. And so these deadlifts. Next, we're going to do some strict press. Let's go ahead and have Reb demonstrate 2 reps of the strict press for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the strict press is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the strict press together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We've got that dumbbell on the shoulder and we are pointing that elbow forward, pressing that arm up and back into the ear, and then keeping that elbow pointed forward and up on the way down. So good job here on this strict press. And finally, we're going to do some step overs. So what we need is to find a sturdy and comfortable surface that you feel comfortable stepping up onto and possibly stepping down on the other side. So if you happen to have a sturdy plyo box, that's one option. Or in the absence of that, it could be anything else super sturdy and secured. It could be a chair secured up against a wall, perhaps with some weights. It could be a sturdy low coffee table, it could be a step ladder, perhaps even some stairs, if that's the most practical solution for us. And so the step over is going to be where we have that object, and then we actually step up onto it, and then step down on the other side if we have space. Now, if we are doing this from the seated position, then those step overs are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 step overs together. Now it could be that we have an object in which we don't step down on the other side, we can just only do step ups because of the logistics. So if that's your case, just like we see Twin One doing here, we step up onto that object, and then we could either step down in the same direction, or in her case, she's actually stepping down to the side to recreate the feel of a step over. And we've got Reb with a sturdy surface that she feels comfortable stepping up onto, stepping down on the other side. On these step ups or step overs. Well, that is it for the activation phase. Now we're going to move on to the movement prep, which is where we're going to practice specifically the 3 moves that we're doing in today's workout. The first move is chest to bar pull-ups, which look like this. Now, many of us don't have a pull-up bar, and either way, it's a good idea to do some further chest and shoulder warm-up. So we're going to do an at-home modification for the pull-up that helps us to get ready for that. We're going to do some Renegade rows. What I'd like you to do, grab that light dumbbell that you had earlier, and we're going to practice some Renegade rows. And let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 reps of the Renegade row for us. this from the seated position, then what I'd like you to do is grab 2 dumbbells, and those Renegade rows are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in here and let's do 10 Renegade rows together. So a couple things to keep in mind for the Renegade row. We are in a plank position on the ground, and we have the chest and the hips square with the ground. And just like the plank rows we were doing earlier, we are shifting that weight, except now rowing the dumbbell into the chest. And notice how twin 1 is supporting with the other hand, alternating hands in this way. If doing this is a challenge for us, then we can choose to do some bent over. And if we happen to have a bench or something along those lines, or a chair, anything that we can get a hand and a knee, then we're going to support one side with the hand and a knee, looking straight ahead, and the other dumbbell into the chest. Now, it could be that we can fashion some type of pull-up modification or something along those lines. So, happen to have a barbell rack and you can set it up in a very sturdy way like twin 1. We can do some incline rows for the pull-ups, and notice how she has it set up in which she is leaning into the angle of support of that rack. And so the weight is going back into the rack, which is a lot more sturdy, less likely for that barbell to come off the rack with the small side of the pins there. And she has a nice tight incline plank position, and she is rowing that chest into the bar. And if you happen to have a pull-up bar, perhaps we can do some assisted pull-ups, getting the toes on some type of surface behind us. And this is one way to scale and eventually get ready to do unassisted pull-ups. So it could directly underneath, or even more effective is if we're able to somehow get the chair behind us and use just toe assistance. But all of these are good progressions and warm-ups to the pull-up. The next move we're doing is the box jump over, which looks like this. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the box jump over is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 box jump overs together. Now, it could be that, once again, perhaps we have a chair up against a wall, or we're using stairs or something along those lines, and we don't have room to step down on the other side, in which case we could do what twin 1 is doing here. She's jumping into the angle of support, and she's actually stepping down on the side of the chair to of a box jump over. Another option we have, like Reb is doing here, if we feel super athletic, we can actually clear an object jumping over it. And we should be aware that this takes a lot more energy to do that. But if we want to give ourselves that extra challenge, there's something to be said about either landing on the object and stepping down, or whatever the case. If we don't feel comfortable jumping up onto the object, we could just choose to clear it in this way. But good job here on these box jump overs, or box jumps, or step ups. If we don't feel comfortable jumping, then we can certainly choose to do step before. And let's have twin 1 remind us what some of these step ups may look like. We could do either step up to an object, step down on the other side. That is certainly an option for us if the jumping is something that we just don't want to do. The third movement that we're doing today is dumbbell power snatches. So let's go ahead and grab that light dumbbell and let's practice the power snatch. So let's go ahead and look on as Twin 1 demonstrates 2 power snatches for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then that power snatch is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the power snatch together. So a couple things to keep in mind. At the start of the snatch, that dumbbell is going to be on the ground, both heads of the dumbbell on the ground. And we are going to use the power of the legs to jump that arm back into the ear, blocking it out directly overhead. And we can either choose to do all the reps straight halfway through, or we could decide to alternate arms every rep, which actually might be a better option if we choose to use a heavier dumbbell. But good job here on these power. Well, now it's ramp up time. If you've been earning badges and you'd like to add some weight to do either the scaled, intermediate, or RX weight, then let's start to gradually add some weight, doing about 4 to 6 practice power snatches at a time until we get to the weight that we want to use for our division. We have plenty of time to do at least 3 to 4 practice sets. We don't need to go straight to a super heavy weight. But if we have not been earning badges, or we're just getting back into this after a long time off, then please, let's not add any weight. That super light weight that we were just using is going to be more than enough for us today. Seriously. It's very important that we have the right form and consistency with all of our habits, as evidenced by earning that badge. Before we've earned the right to add or reintroduce intensity, such as by adding weight or going fast. And whether we're adding weight or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number 1, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in, so we can get through this whole workout without losing you. Number 2, let's grab some water. Let's take a sip. Let's make sure we got our water nearby so we can take a sip as needed all throughout the workout. Number 3, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. Now you can synchronize your timer with mine if you choose to use one. Number 4, music. Super important. We're going to need 1 to 2 fight songs today that are going to really motivate us and help us to push to get through this as fast as possible. So, what's on your playlist? You can blast your music as loud as you want, as long as you can still hear me helping you throughout the workout. And lastly, how are we keeping track of these rounds? This is a 5-round workout. The reps start high, they're getting lower. There's a lot going on. It's easy to lose track of things. Let's have some type of system in place to help us to know where we are without getting lost. And the best way to do that is to have the workout written down close by. So if you're a teacher's pet like Mighty Mouse, first to the screen with the workout and with the scorecard. And we've got a whole bunch of teacher's pets here. Let's go ahead and take a teacher's pet picture just to show how prepared you are. Teacher's pet picture in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen one more time here, and then we'll get going. So in just about a minute, we're going to start this timer, and we're about to do this 5-round descending ladder workout. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 of chest to bar pull-ups, box jump overs, and dumbbell power snatches. Specifically, we're doing 10 chest to bars, 10 box jump overs, 10 power snatches, followed by 8 chest to bars, 8 box jump overs, 8 power snatches, then 6 of each then 4 of each, then 2 of each. Now, if we're doing the Renegade rows in place of the pull-ups, then we're doing 10 total Renegade rows in that first round, and so on and so forth. 8 total in the second round, 6 total in the third round, and then 2, 1 on each side in the last round. On these box jump overs, if we don't feel comfortable jumping, we can certainly step. That's an option for us. And then, of course, on the snatches, we are not adding weight unless we've been earning badges. Our habits will definitely help us to get more results out of this program and keep us safe. So please, let's earn these badges before we add the weight. Your score is going to be the time it takes you to get through these 5 rounds of descending reps of chest bar pull-ups or Renegade rows, box jump overs, or step overs, and these dumbbell power snatches. So if you are good to go, give me a thumbs up here. Get this going. I'm going to give us a 10-second countdown, and then I'm going to highlight red to get us going. So here we go, guys. 10 pull-ups, 4 Renegade rows, 10 box jump overs, 10 dumbbell power snatches, and then it's all downhill from there. Starting in 10 seconds. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off. And we got Reb doing some unassisted pull-ups. And so that's what we want to see, challenging ourselves incrementally. She's starting off each round with a certain amount of unassisted before switching to the assisted version. We got Twin 1 hitting these incline rows. But then we got Mighty Mouse on these Renegade rows and Flash already on these box jump overs. Done with those 10 rows, choosing to clear the box each time. Look at that height. And notice how he's getting that height, but also absorbing the shock as he lands, landing in a bit of a quarter squat there. Hitting those high knees, clearing the object, but then absorbing the shock on that land. Swing 1, hitting that jump. On these box jumps, we want to think jump hard, land soft. And it helps to think about landing in a bit of a quarter squat. And then Mighty Mouse on these box jump overs. And we got Flash already on these snatches here. Dumbbell on the ground. And let's keep that head up, especially as we tap the ground snatch. There we go, Flash. And so we want head up, chest up, hips low. And like we said, we could alternate each rep, which is especially helpful if we're challenging ourselves using a heavier dumbbell. Or we could choose to do 5 snatches on one side, followed by 5 on the other side. But then we are getting through this round of 10. Going to be moving on to the round of 8. And everyone is within today's target window. Today we have a very tight target window. Those of you who've been doing this program for a while know that we have different types of workouts. Some are longer, some are shorter, some are heavier, some are lighter. And this is by design. We constantly vary the stimulus. We're ready for all different types of challenges. And so we attack these workouts. Each workout has its purpose and its place in the program. We approach each one with the right mentality, knowing that we will be better at the other end of it. But nice work here, guys. Making our way through the round of 8. Respecting every single jump. We don't want to lose focus for even a second here. And even if we're stepping, we still want to focus every single rep. Safety first. Get those high knees. Land in that quarter squat. We got Flash already on these in the round of 8, keeping that dumbbell close to the body. And notice on these snatches, how twin 1 as well keeps the dumbbell close to the body. We don't want that dumbbell getting way out ahead of us. We treat the dumbbell like a heavy zipper. So we're using the legs to jump, getting the bicep into the ear. And we are finishing off this round of 8. Moving along into the round of 6, which is like the bridge, middle round here. This is where we start to feel like we're making some headway in the workout. But nice work here, guys. Making our way through. Flash already on these jumps. We got a reb on these pull-ups. Still doing some unassisted pull-ups before moving on to assisted. We are doing this, guys. Twin 1. Moving nice and steady. Flash on these snatches. And Mighty Mouse is in the lightning round here, moving on to the round of 4. Going to be finishing off soon in the round of 2. This is definitely a fast workout today, but fast never means easy if we approach it with the right mentality. Then these bursts of a workout are sometimes A, exactly what our body needs, but B, it really trains us to be explosive when needed. We are on this, guys, making our way toward the end, the finish line here. We know what to do when we finish. We hit that buzzer, we yell time, we cheer on our family, and we got Mighty Mouse on this last set of snatches. And there she goes across the finish line toward the lower end of this target window here. Flash as well, making his way to the finish line. There goes Flash. We got both Reb and Twin 1 almost done. Neck and neck. Reb finishing off that round of 4. Twin 1 about to pick up this dumbbell. Boom. And there goes Twin 1. And let's cheer on Reb. Heading into this last round here. Doing some unassisted pull-ups the whole way through. Not easy.
You got this, Reb.
Hit the last couple jumps. And the last couple snatches. Here we go. Boom. Last one. And time for Reb. Man, that was a blast of a workout. And you have definitely earned yourself a cool down stretch. This stretch is super important to help us fight soreness, increase flexibility, so we can come back day after day, staying consistent and committed. So the first stretch that we're going to do today is the saddle eagle stretch. And this is going to be where we get into a kneeling position and we get back on those heels, and we're going to get one elbow on top of the other like this. If we can't get all the way back heels, if all we got is this, hey, that's cool. But to the extent that we can get back toward those heels, awesome. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're just doing the eagle part of the stretch, which is one elbow on top of the other like this. And while we're here, let's reflect on the workout. Let's do some high-low buffalo. So High. What is one thing you feel you did well in the workout today? Low. What is something you want to do better the next time it shows up? And buffalo. What is something that surprised you about the workout today? While we're thinking about that, let's switch here to the other elbow on top. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Red. And if we're doing this in the seated position, once again, we're doing just the elbow, the eagle part of the stretch. But what is your high-low buffalo, Red?
My high was using my heavy dumbbell. My low is the pull-ups. And the buffalo is that, doing rounds of pull-ups, even 2 pull-ups gets to be impossible.
But hey, you attacked that and you challenging yourself more and more. Slightly heavier dumbbell, slightly more challenging version of the pull-up, and much progress. So good job, Red. Let's go ahead and move on to the pigeon here. We got one leg up across the chest, other leg back, and we are sinking into this like this. And while we're on this side, let's hear from 21. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're getting the elbow up and going to the side like this. But what is your high-low buffalo 21?
My high was the power snatch. The low was the box jump overs, and the buffalo was the sweat. All this sweat feels good.
Doesn't it though? But we got to put in the work to earn that sweat, which you did. It's a good job there, twin 1. And let's go ahead and do the pigeon on the other side. We got the other leg up and across the chest, other leg back, sinking into this like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. Doing this from the seated position, we're getting the other elbow up to the side like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Mighty Mouse?
My high was the power snatch. I really didn't have a low, but the buffalo was it was just a good workout. I didn't have a buffalo either. It was a good workout, just starting off slowly on the first round with the power snatches.
My buffalo is how easy you're making some of those dumbbells look. We've been getting you to go heavier, and we'll see if we can get you to go heavier on some of the other movements as well. Not pointing any fingers, but you are getting super strong, and it's just so awesome to see your progress. Well, that's our WOD, that's our stretch, that's our high-low buffalo, and let's go ahead and do what you know we got to do. We got to hit this sweaty selfie, because does this count if we don't take this selfie? Let's flex on the camera here, guys. Here we go. Sweaty selfie in 3, 2, 1. And crazy face. And fist in the middle for the cheer. On 3, 2 claps. Fit crew. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Fit crew. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this program, then please give this channel a subscribe, a like, and a share. Thank you very much, and see you next time.